Hello, Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to the next episode of Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice. We talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. First off, before we get into today's relatively exciting news, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. This is the first episode and first video being uploaded to the channel in 2021. 2020 was a great year on the channel. It was not a great year overall, but hopefully 2021 will be better. Hopefully the channel continues to grow, and I hope you all continue to join me here on Lightning Storm. But today, looks like we have Wave 10. Let's do it. So before we get into the exciting news with all of the listings, which I'm sure is what most people want to hear today, we do have just a slight bit of news. It's not exactly even news. It's something I like to cover here because I think it's really cool. We've been mentioning that in the last two episodes, I think we mentioned it, that Tom Whalen was updating his website with more of the full artworks for the boxes, the different figures that came out in 2020. And this past week, he's continued to do that. We did get the artworks for Wave 7, so Dino Thunder Red, Mighty Morphin Green, and the Z-Putty, as well as the In Space Red versus Astronema 2-pack from Versus Wave 1. So all of those are currently up on Tom's website if you guys want to see the full renders of those. And I'm thinking he's going to keep uploading more. We still have a couple more 2020 artworks we haven't seen on their website yet. So that'd be really cool to see. So thank you, Tom, for uploading those. They always look amazing, as always, and I can't wait to see all the art you have for 2021. But let's get into the real big news of the week. So, funny thing, before I recorded this episode of Lightning Storm, last night I posted a tweet basically saying, oh, I still gotta make Lightning Storm this week, but nothing happened this week. Well, things happened, like right after I posted that tweet. So, first was a reply to that exact tweet is what kicked this whole thing off, and we have a pretty good amount of stuff to discuss here, because it is once again time that listings were found. And thankfully listings were found on a Friday night before a normal episode of Saturday Lightning Storm, and not have to make me do an emergency episode, so that kind of worked out very well timing wise. So this is going to potentially be our Wave 10. Now, it's about time-ish that we get a new wave leak. It happens about every 3 months or so, every 4 months or so. The Wave 9 listings were leaked back in September. That's when those ones were found, and here we are just about 4 months after that, so it makes sense. Now, for a timetable here, the earliest that Lightning Collection figures had ever leaked before their release was with Wave 5. So Wave 5 was a June 2020 release, and the listings for them leaked back in August of 2019. So a 10-month advance is kind of our rough timeline of like the furthest out that we can get figures leaked before they get released. And with Wave 10 here, if this is Wave 10, this would probably be somewhere in the ballpark of a September release. If we know we're getting Wave 8 in March, Wave 9 is probably going to be June, so Wave 10 would probably be September, so it's impossible that we would have these entries by now. So first up, we have the first listing that came from Scrub Zero. They are the ones who replied to my original tweet basically saying that there was new news with news. So these listings all come from that same website, Eden Spiel, which I have not mentioned here in a long time. But Scrub Zero found the listing for ZTH Venus. So ZTH Venus is a very interesting code that we have here for a couple of reasons. First up, ZTH, we already know from plenty of different examples that it is going to be a Zeo figure. So that kind of follows the traditional pattern we've been getting here recently. Every single wave except for Wave 7, ever since Wave 4, has had a Zeo Ranger. Wave 4 had blue, Wave 5 had Zeo Gold, Wave 6 had Zeo Red, 7 skipped it, and then 8 has green, and then 9 has that ZTH Kanga code that we still don't know what it is yet. And in fact, this listing probably breaks what we think it was. So there was already kind of a suspicion that ZTH Kanga and the Wave 9 codes could potentially be for Zeo Yellow. But now that we have this with Venus, and we had already talked about how all of the colors match up to planets, and anything that is like a space-themed code that is not anything to do with a planet, so for example, like radar was putty, something like that, or lava was astronema. So it seems like anything that are not planets are our villains, and the planets are colors. So ZTH Tanga is more than likely at this point not Zeo Yellow in Wave 9, which I had already kind of suspected it wouldn't be. That was never a guaranteed, it was just kind of an assumed. So right now ZTH Tanga is wide back open for speculation Granted, it's never like it closed because it was never a done deal that it was Zeo Yellow. Right now, my personal prediction, a cog. I think a cog could be what it could be. They're obviously not opposed to putting foot soldiers in the waves since we got the Z Putty in Wave 7. So I think a cog could be a pretty good potential choice for ZTH Tanga, or really any villain in Zeo whatsoever. But it's very likely not going to be Zeo Yellow. Now that we have the ZTH Venus code, it actually kind of sort of helps further what we had from the Versus Packs Wave 2 last week. So we talked about that we had the SRE Nuclear Venus code, which was for one of the new 2-packs in Versus Wave 2, which is Mighty Morphin something, but Venus we hadn't figured out what it was yet. But based off of just process of elimination, we already have a code for green, red, blue, and also gold has already been released, and we have a code for pink, and this isn't Zeo Pink, because that would be ZTH Neptune if it was Zeo Pink. So it's probably yellow. So Venus is probably yellow. That's what I'm going to go with right now, which would mean that this Wave 10 figure could be Zeo Yellow. But just guessing that Zeo Yellow is about as far as we can get with the Wave 10 codes because of the fact that the other ones, which there are only 2 other ones and not 3 other ones, which I'll get into, they all have new codes in them, so it's kind of hard to figure out what they are, just like Versus Packs Wave 2. Now these last 2 entries here, these last 2 codes, come from JT Prime 17, which I haven't mentioned their names since like June or July on Lightning Storm, because they're the ones who found the Red Ranger helmet last summer, and then relayed that information to me via Twitter DMs, and that's exactly what happened this morning. So I was looking on Agent Spiel for more Wave 10 codes, and they found them before I could and DM'd them to me, so a huge shout out to them. Thank you so much for this. This really helped make the news even more exciting. So what are the other 2 codes? Well, our first one up is BLM Parsec. So BLM Parsec is our next in space entry, because we know that BLM is in space. Parsec, though, no idea. We know it's not red, we know it's not yellow, probably, we know it's not pink, we know it's not black or blue. Could be silver, technically, although I would think that silver would just be another planet, but it could be silver. Or it could be a villain. Ecliptor is a good choice for that one, potentially. He's going to be in a little one-shot comic with Astronema from Boom Studios this upcoming March. We already have Astronema, so that could be a good pairing there. But BLM Parsec, no idea. So BLM, like I said, in space, so we know that part for sure. Parsec, no idea. So what's our third figure? Well, the third figure is Ver Mercury. So Mercury we know is green, so that helps us there. Ver is a new season code, so that's kind of the first time in a while that we've had a brand new season code. What does that mean? So Hasbro stated at Hasbro PulseCon that they've been wanting to finish out or flesh out more teams that they've already started, rather than starting new teams. So I've seen a lot of people speculate that Ver could be like RPM or something. But what I think could possibly also be going on here is that it's very possible that Ver Mercury could be a Green Ranger from a team that we've already started in Lightning Collection, but the team has not shown up yet in recent waves to be under the new code system. For example, Dino Charge and Time Force are the only contenders that really work here for this idea. So Time Force and Dino Charge we've already started in the Lightning Collection back in 2019 and 2020, but we haven't had a Dino Charge or a Time Force figure since Wave 5, or since Dino Charge Black at Target over the summer. And since those 2 figures came out so long ago, they were under the old code system, the PRG Pet code system, and are not under the BLT code system. So because of that, we don't know what Dino Charge and Time Force's new season codes are, but we don't have the Green Rangers from those teams. So this could very well be either Riley, Dino Charge Green, or Trip, Time Force Green, or there is also, of course, the slight possibility that Hasbro will start a new team in 2021 with Ver, and Ver would be a new season that we don't have yet. So it's really just going to be one of those 3 possibilities. Dino Charge Green, Time Force Green, or a green from a season we haven't started yet. Obviously, it's not like Lost Galaxy or anything like that, or any other teams that we started that we're missing greens from, because we would have had their season code to tell us that. So yeah, who knows what's going on with Ver Mercury, but it is a Green Ranger, and that's as far as we can get on that one. At least that one we know their color, because we're still speculating on what Venus is, and no idea what Parsec is, if that's even a color, even though I don't think it will be. So yeah, those are our 3 Wave 10 listings. Probably Wave 10. I'm just going to go ahead and assume it's Wave 10. They do come product number wise after Wave 9, so that would just make the most logical sense that it's Wave 10. And also, whenever we find a group of listings together, it's always a wave. But you might be wondering, well, waves are always 4 figures with the exception of Wave 7, but even that was found to be in a group of 4 figures. So where's the 4th figure for Wave 10? Well, I have a theory on what's going on with that, so let's discuss that. So I've done some hunting on Asian Spiel and around to try to find a 4th Wave 10 figure, but I can't find one. Doesn't mean that there isn't one that exists out there somewhere. There could be a 4th listing missing, but you would think that either I or JT Prime 17 or someone would have found it by now, especially because every wave is always found together for the most part. So what is going on here? Well, I have a theory. So if we look at the product numbers for Wave 10 here, they are F2058, F2059, and F2060. So you would think that if there was a 4th figure in Wave 10 that it would either be F2057 or F2061, and they're not. So I checked both of those numbers, they don't work. However, we look at Wave 9, Wave 9 is right before this, except for the 7 missing. So just for example, ZTH Tanga is F2055, and then the Mars Atom code is F2056. So there is a little 1 number gap in between the end of Wave 9 and the beginning of Wave 10. But I don't think that matters as much here, but I think there is something interesting about that. So on both websites that Wave 9 has been seen at, I mentioned very briefly that at the same website that the Versus Packs and Monsters Wave 2 were found on last week, also had Wave 9 mentioned, but not Mars Atom. They just had the ZTH Tanga, the LGY Earth, and the Rad Mercury codes up there, but not the Mars Atom code. And also, if you remember, this is over a month ago, actually almost 2 months ago, on Lightning Storm. We talked about that picture from Previews World, which had the Wave 9 figures on it, but it was missing the Mars Atom one and had BLM Mars instead. BLM Mars was also there instead on this website that the Versus and Monsters 2 packs were found on there as well. So, there's now 2 different websites that are backing up the idea that BLM Mars is in Wave 9 and Mars Atom is not. So I think I know what's going on here. I personally think Mars Atom was supposed to be in Wave 9, but they pushed it to Wave 10, and then since BLM Mars was supposed to be in Wave 7, and they needed to fill a slot somewhere, so that way we would never just have one figure just roaming out into the distance, I think that they took BLM Mars, put it in Wave 9, took Mars Atom, put it in Wave 10, and that's why there's no a 4th figure for Wave 10, because it's just going to have Mars Atom move over to that slot. And I think that's why we can't find a 4th figure, because I don't think there is one. I think that's just what's going on here. Now, that's pure speculation, but since there are 2 different websites that do show Wave 9 not having Mars Atom but having BLM Mars, then what happened to the Mars Atom code? You know, like, if we move one figure and replace it with another, we're always going to just keep having one figure that doesn't have a home until we get one wave like this, where there's just 3 listings and we can slide it somewhere. And I think that's probably what they finally did here, so that way we can get back on track without any missing listings. So I don't know why BLM Mars was ever removed from Wave 7, but he was removed in favor of the Mighty Morphin White reissue, and he is up for pre-order on a couple sites that I'm not going to mention. So it does seem like he is finally happening. So maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe that's why we can't find a 4th Wave 10 code, and that's just, like I said, just speculation, but I feel like that's probably our most likely scenario here. So that's our Wave 10 codes. We have ZTH Venus, we have BLM Parsec, we have Ver Mercury, and then maybe Mars Atom got bumped to 10. But yeah, I know there's not a lot to go off of all that, except for speculation, further speculation that Venus is yellow, and that we're getting a Green Ranger of some kind, and another in-space figure, and another Zeo figure in Wave 10. But yeah, that's all I really got for Lightning Collection news this week here on Lightning Storm. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think is going on with that? Do you think Ver will be either Time Force or Dino Charge, like I think it could be? And all that stuff, and just let me know what you think about it. I know that until we get this, new code system fully cracked, every time we find listings, it's kind of difficult to pinpoint exactly what they are. But real quick here before we go, here's just a real quick comprehensive list of everything we have going on for Lightning Collection in 2021, now that we are in 2021. So we have 4 officially announced figures, which is the lineup of Wave 8, which of course we know at this point is Dino Thunder Blue, Lost Galaxy Red, SPD Pink, and Zeo Green. Those are the only figures that have been announced for 2021. But we have plenty of leaked figures. We have Versus Packs Wave 2, which consists of BLM Earth Silver Photon, which BLM Earth is in space blue, but Silver Photon is a mystery. And then we have our second Versus Pack, which is SRE Nuclear Venus, which Venus could be yellow, and Nuclear is a mystery, but SRE means that this will be a Mighty Morphin 2-pack. We have Monsters Wave 2, which were very easily given to us because their codes were very not hidden at all. So SRE Eye Guy and SRE Piranha's Head for Monsters Wave 2. We have Wave 9's codes, which are ZTH Tenga, which is a Zeo character of some kind, Rad Mercury, which is SPD Green, LGY Earth, which is Lost Galaxy Blue, Mars Atom, which we don't know what it is yet or what season it's from, but it's probably maybe not even going to be in Wave 9, but maybe Wave 10. We have that straggler code, BLM Mars, which is in space black, that was supposed to be in Wave 7, but has now probably moved to Wave 9. And we have our 3 final brand new codes, ZTH Venus, which could be Zeo Yellow, but is definitely something from Zeo. We have BLM Parsec, which is something for sure from in space, but we don't know what. And Ver Mercury, which is a season that we don't know, but will be a Green Ranger. So that brings us to a grand total of so far 17 figures for 2021. And that's a pretty good start for the second day of the year. So that's all I got for Lightning Collection news this week here on Lightning Storm. Thank you all for watching this series throughout 2020, and I hope you continue to enjoy it here in 2021 as we get to see what all these figures end up being and what else gets renounced, because year 2 finished off with 38 figures in 2020, so who knows what they're going to do in 2021. Well, until next time, everyone, you can follow me on Twitter at 2 different places, at either Live in Ranger Key for my personal account, or at Lightning Fig PR for all things strictly Lightning Collection. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Lightning Storm, where lightning always strikes twice.